Hello and welcome to the final episode of Bison Overtime for this semester. I'm Alex Dusky.
I'm Malik Mitchell.
We're going to start out the show with football. And I know that might sound a little weird considering that NDSU season is over, but the FCS season is not. Championship game is Sunday at 1 o'clock, and as I predicted, it's SDSU versus Sam Houston.
Yep.
Last weekend, Sam Houston came back from a 3-touchdown deficit to beat JMU 38-35. I know I kind of asked you this a couple weeks ago, but do you think that's better for the Bison knowing that they lost to a very solid team who's now going to the championship, or do you think it still doesn't help?
And I still feel the same way. I don't think you want the team to win the championship that beat you, because it just it stings even more to me.
So who would you, if you were a Bison, who would hurt more to win the championship? SDSU, who we could have beat, or Sam Houston, who we also could have beat?
I would think Sam Houston, because we know SDSU, we play them all the time. But Sam Houston, someone's coming new. We don't really play them, and it's taking everybody out. JMU, we go back to back to them
all the years,
and it just killed them. So I think Sam Houston would make it hurt more.
SDSU had no problem beating Southern Illinois. Their final score was 31-26. So now switching back to more NDSU-based things, they led the nation on the Stats Perform FCS All-American team. Those players were fullback Hunter Lupke, offensive lineman Cordell Volson, who we didn't actually talk about as the season kind of went on. We talked about him a lot. He had a lot of preseason polls. Punter Garrett Wagner and kick returner Christian Watson were all named to the first team.
Yep, and the first career All-American awards were for Hunter Lupke, Christian Watson, Kaiser, Cornelli. In the past, Volson, which just got drafted, Tennessee Titans, if I'm not mistaken, was in 2019 was second team in Hero Sports All-American, and Wagner in 2018, third pick by Stats Perform.
So it's kind of nice that they didn't really get any. I don't think a lot of awards were given out last year. Obviously not to our team for the current players. So it's kind of nice that, okay, the season didn't go as we wanted it to, but,
we still get some accolades, still get some awards, yeah.
Also, fun fact, I ran into Cam Miller, the quarterback, in our dorm, and he was saying how excited he is, and he didn't let that Sam Houston game get to him. He was like, it was one bad game. I can't play like that again, but it was just one game. And do you think that's kind of the mindset that the whole team is adapting?
Yeah, it has to be. But it seems like those guys are not really getting down, and on their social media, they're just saying, okay, next year is on. That's really, they're not really, sulking and feeling bad about it. So hopefully they do pick it up next year.
All right, well, looking at next season, the full schedule is out. Here's a broad look at all 11 games. So they start at home against Albany on September 4th. They play those 3 non-conference games before starting Missouri Valley play against UND in Grand Forks. Homecoming is that next week against UNI, and then they will end the season at home against USD on November 20th. So, like we said, a full 11-game schedule. Do you think it's going to be a little bit more normal? Do you think the Dome's going to be at fuller capacity? What do you think?
I think it's going to feel real normal for those guys. They've been spring season probably already awkward, but they let them tell it. It's football. That's all they want to do is play football. But my concern is the first game. We know nothing about Albany.
Right. And then there's some other teams like Valparaiso.
Right.
It's just, but we always do play those weird non-conference games.
Right, and we had bad luck with them this year. Sam Houston, killed us. So how do you feel that's going to play out next season?
I think that starting the season at home, their first 2 games, Albany and Valparaiso, are both at home in the Dome.
Yep.
And if, the team's vaccinated, more of the Fargo population's, NDSU student population is getting vaccinated, I think we can see it more, just more normal.
Yeah, and hopefully we get, less COVID restrictions on the Dome. To me, it was packed, even with the restrictions. There was still a lot of people there, especially in the big games. But now everything's back to normal. I hope everything gets back to normal, and they lessen that so they can get more feedback from the fans, get the Dome really hyped like it's supposed to be.
Before we go to break, I do want to touch on the new football performance complex. The entire cost is estimated $37.2 million. It's being privately funded from Nodak Insurance Company, so that's why that's going to be the name of the performance complex. It is, quote unquote, a state-of-the-art training facility for the football program, but will also have the capacity for women's soccer, men's and women's golf, baseball, soccer, and both track and field teams, all those teams that have weather issues throughout the year. It will have 2 artificial turf fields, and the indoor field will be a full 120 yards long and 60 yards wide, wide, and the roof will be 72 feet tall.
Yeah, the indoor, it will be crazy. They cover more than 17,000 square feet, including the practice field. So, I mean, they're getting rewarded, even though we didn't have the best of the season, but hopefully it hypes those boys up for next season.
And it is supposed to replace the Dakota bubble, which is kind of dying out, so it'll be good for a lot of those teams.
Yep.
All right, when we come back, we have a live update on Bison softball and a recap of their last weekend. Don't go away.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
Thank you for coming back. Now we're going to dive into softball. Last week, they unfortunately got swept by SDSU.
As predicted, SDSU's number 1, and they got their first Summit League title in program history, and they also swept all of the individual Summit League awards for the entire season. So we kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, we anticipated this because, the number 1 in the conference,
right.
We anticipated this was going to happen. But damn, we couldn't get one game.
So the first score was, first game was 3-0. Second was 1-0. Third was 2-0. Fourth game, we got some points on the board, 7-5.
So we almost got shut out, basically.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
So at least we didn't get mercy ruled.
Yeah. So only stats we have is from Saturday when they lost.
7-5.
Yeah, 7-5.
So we obviously were playing pretty okay defensively. That's my because he scored 3 points and the 1 point, 2 points. So we weren't letting SDSU get away with it.
Yep.
But we just could not get those runs in.
Mm-hmm. Every one song had 2 hits and 2 runs. Madison Kameko and Cameron Maycutt and Des Cardenas had 1 hit and 1 run.
So the team finished the regular season 16-28 overall, 11-12 in the Summit League. So we ended up having that losing record in the conference.
Yep.
How do you think the overall record would have been if we wouldn't have played those weird non-conference teams? Because remember, typically...
Oh, like the Iowa States and...
Yeah, okay. Because of COVID restrictions, I don't really know the rules, but we ended up playing a different set of teams than we normally did.
Yep. Yeah, we did play some weird teams like we were going to play Memphis and we played Arkansas, all those teams. Our overall record would have been easily better, but our conference, I don't know.
Right. But
still a question mark.
Good for the Bison. They were 3rd in the Summit League. The tournament started at 3 o'clock today. SDSU is 1, Omaha was 2, NDSU is 3. The first round is single elimination, so today, and then the rest of the games are double elimination. The number 4 seed, Kansas City, played number 5 seed, USD. Kansas City won, and they will play SDSU tomorrow. How do you think those 2 teams are going to match up? Do you think SDSU is just going to sweep them?
Yes, I think SDSU is going to take it again because, the fear of getting swept is going to be in their mind when they play them. So I don't think they're going to play up to par. They're still going to be scared, with SDSU. It's SDSU. Like, if they're number 2 or right behind them at number 4, it'll be okay. We can take them. But the number 1, so the intimidation is real. What do you think is going to happen?
I think SDSU is going to take it. Also, the fact that their football team's playing in the championship and now their softball team's playing in Summit League, that school is just...
So you think the whole university is just...
I made the mistake of going to their website to check on their schedule, and then I got bombarded with, congratulations to the football team, and I was like, I did not need to see that. But our Bison are, like I said, 3rd seed taking on number 6 seed currently. Okay, that game started at 5:30, going on for almost 3 hours now. The team was winning 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd, and then UND tied it at the top of the 7th, 5-5, and they are now 7 minutes ago going into their 10th inning. And you're not even there. It's not like you're there to jinx them.
Oh man, you think I jinxed them?
Yes.
Oh, I think they jinx me. Every time I go to a game, it goes to extra innings. I think one of them was 10. For baseball, it was like 14. I think they jinxed me, but hopefully those girls, players like Avery Whitesong and Madison Kameko have to really step up if they really want to win that game.
I want to know what the pitching situation is currently, because Lainey Lyles had a great season so far, and I know that she started this game, but I don't know, 10 innings for softball, that's like a lot on your shoulders.
On your shoulders?
So I don't know what that, Twitter can only show us so much. But hopefully, if the Bison win it, we will play the number 2 seed Omaha tomorrow. How do you think that's going to go?
So Omaha, we don't really have the best of luck with them. A couple weeks ago, we lost all 3 games. We could have. Well, we won 1-1, but lost 2, and the last one got canceled. And then I think we played them.
And the 3rd game that we lost, it was 8-0. Okay.
Right. So, that's still a tough opponent. But yeah, I just have no faith in the softball team.
Whoa. I think it's going to be hard because they're going to be exhausted from this game.
Right.
And then...
and that's what we're talking about. The wear and tear of each game, it takes a toll on them at one point. And I think it's probably showing now.
If they win tonight, they will play tomorrow at 2:30 against Omaha, who had a bye. Okay, so Omaha and SDSU both didn't play today. And then if they were to beat Omaha tomorrow, they will play at 1 o'clock Friday and then play again 1 o'clock on Saturday.
So they play a tough opponent if they win Omaha.
Yeah.
And then they got to play another tough opponent
who would
after
likely
that.
be SDSU.
So how do you think your softball is going to do 2
it's
games
not
if they make
softball.
it?
We both go to this school.
Yeah. But how do you think they're going to do 2 tough opponents, one after another?
I keep refreshing my Twitter to see if we have a final score.
Yep.
We do not. I think that they will pull this game out. I have faith in them. Tomorrow, I don't know. They would have to play. They would have to be a completely different team than what we have seen from them so far this season.
Okay, we'll see. When we come back, we'll dive into baseball.
The Technology Learning and Media Center, located in the Quinton Burdick Building, room 150C, provides a variety of services to assist you with all of your technology-related coursework and personal learning goals. The TLMC offers one-on-one tutoring and assistance in topics ranging from basic computer skills to advanced topics such as design, Adobe products, and multimedia software. A resource library that includes books on the latest software releases, online resources including a lynda.com kiosk that provide free access to high-quality video tutorials on hundreds of topics. Free workshops on a variety of topics taught each semester by our student staff. Software and hardware for audio and video capture, conversion, and editing, plus personal assistance on your multimedia projects. Multiple scanners are available at the TLMC, including one large format scanner and a slide and film scanner. The Wacom tablet provides ultimate control in your favorite graphics and illustration software and can help you to create stunning digital artwork. Large format poster printing is also done at the TLMC. Our walk-in media resources include the Whisper Room sound booth for recording professional quality voiceovers and audio. The TLMC Media Studio is available by reservation and provides equipment and space for video recording, audio recording, studio photography, screen capture, and a green screen for special effects. If you have any questions on these services, be sure to visit the TLMC website, and while you're there you can check out a variety of learning and media resources, or just stop by the next time you're in the Quinton Burdick Building and check out what we have to offer.
All right, welcome back to Bison Overtime. In this segment, we will be talking about Bison baseball, who has been pretty busy this past week. Last weekend, they had a great series against Omaha. They almost swept, just couldn't get that last game. First game, they won 8-7. Big comeback. They came back from being down 5-8. Do you have any specific stats from that first game?
Yeah, Bennett Hostetler had 2 hits and 2 runs. Charlie Hesse, who we interviewed last week, had 2 runs and 1 hit. Jake Malik and Kalen Schwab had 2 hits and 1 run.
So then the second game we won 2-0. It was a pretty quick game. Yeah. That was that doubleheader.
Yeah, Jake Malik had 1 hit, 1 run. Peter Brookshaw had 1 run. So pretty quick.
Third game was Saturday, won 8-7. Another great comeback. They scored 5 runs in the 8th innings to win and get on top of Omaha.
Again, our guy Charlie Hesse had 2 hits and 3 runs. Peter Brookshaw, Bennett Hostetler, Zach Soleno, Will Bush, Jack Simonson had 2 hits and 1 run.
There was definitely a group effort. That's kind of what we've been seeing from that baseball team a lot. And kind of what Charlie was saying, it's their leadership stepping up, kind of getting ready for that transition after they graduate. Fourth game, they lost 5-4. It was close the whole time, but they just couldn't get that last run in. I think one guy got a single to first, but then no one could get him home. Yeah,
Bennett Hostetler had 2 hits and 2 runs. Peter Brookshaw had 2 hits and 1 run. Jake Malik had 1 hit and 1 run.
So overall, I think that's what we needed.
Yep.
But their weekend didn't end there. They played Concordia on Tuesday. They won 8-7. Just didn't look their best. They had a lot of errors, I saw. And I will say the sun was setting. It was in the outfielders' eyes. But there were just a lot of things that I was like...
Simple mistakes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bennett Hostetler had 3 hits and 2 runs. Jake Malik had 2 runs and 1 hit. And Cade Feeney, who we don't really see that much, had 1 hit and 1 run.
Right. He's the freshman pitcher, so I think he went in that game as a designated hitter.
Yep.
So their final series starts Friday against SDSU. It's a doubleheader to start at 3 o'clock, Saturdays at 2 o'clock, Sundays at 1. SDSU, though they might be high and mighty in football and softball, is only 11-25 overall, 6-14 in the Summit League.
But we split 4 games with them 2 weeks ago. So then it's not like they're an easy opponent.
Do you think, kind of what Charlie was saying, he's like, we're a different team than we were when we played Omaha, and that showed off. Do you think that's going to be the same with SDSU this weekend?
Yeah, I have faith in baseball. I think they'll be differently, play it different, probably less mistakes if they had any in that game. Yeah, I think we should be able to take SDSU.
I think they have not swept a weekend series since Western Illinois in mid-February?
Yeah.
And if this is their time to sweep, last home series of the season, next week, but it's not their end of the season. Next weekend they will travel to Western Kentucky to make up games that we were supposed to play. I think those were their first games of the season that got postponed.
Yeah.
So they will do that, and then in 2 weeks they'll compete in the Summit League Championship in Omaha. What do you think, out of these next 8 games, how do you think it's going to go?
So SCSU, I think we're going to split the weekend with them.
Really?
Yeah. Again, or split the weekend, or win 3 games out of the 4.
Okay.
And in Eastern Kentucky, I know nothing about them. I don't think you do either, right?
No, it's hard that they're those out of conference teams
that
we kind of talked about that brings our record, although it's still pretty good, 33-14.
But unlike softball, baseball does pretty well against teams that's not in our conference. So
NDSU moved ahead of Omaha in the league standings. They are now in 2nd place. The 33 wins on the season are the 3rd most in program history, and the 17 Summit League wins are the 2nd most in school history. How exciting is that for the team that not only are they having individual seasons like Bennett Hostetler, getting his 200th career hit a couple weeks ago, but now that they're also, being top of NDSU program history.
Right. That back what Charlie Hesse was saying, it really shows the baseball program and what it means to all of them. They were so hyped when he got that award, for Gala Athletics. They're so hyped. You can tell the team really feeds off that. So I hope Bennett Hostetler has a good, year. What do you think he's going to do next year? How is that? Is it graduate school he transfers or?
I think he'll go on. I think he'll start in a minor league team.
Yeah.
I think he definitely has a lot of potential there. I do not know enough about baseball to predict which team he would go to, but I think he definitely has a lot of talent. Do you think most of these seniors will come back? I know we didn't really get a clear answer from Charlie when we talked to him.
You never really know. Because same thing with basketball, with Rocky, we didn't know if we thought Rocky was going to leave. He's coming back.
Exactly.
So you never really know with them. I think Bennett Hostetler might leave, but guys
This is
Jake Malik.
There's some football players who will have an amazing season and then they won't go to the draft. They're like, I want to have another season. But then something happens. Maybe they get injured. They just don't play as much. So then their draft stock goes down. Bennett should take this and go.
Go run with it? Yeah, I think so too. He's doing really good at the pitcher position. I think he should leave.
The team swept the Summit League weekly awards as well. For the first time this season, both the player and the pitcher of the week are from the same university, NDSU, this week. Bennett Hostetler and then relief pitcher Parker Harm both got the awards. So how exciting is that okay, we're good with players and pitchers. We're all solid.
Yeah, it's a balanced team. That's why we're seeing new names. In the beginning, we'll just see a couple names, but now, throughout the season, we see new names that everybody's contributing, and I like it. The same with track and field, they're both balanced.
Oh, yeah. So leading into that, when we come back from commercial, we will be talking about track and field's last weekend and going into their Summit League championship. Don't go away.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
The NDSU bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU bookstore and show your spirit today.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
there are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place. The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
Welcome back. We're going to dive into our last section, track and field. Mm-hmm. So they had a track meet in Vermillion, South Dakota for the South Dakota tune-up,
right?
Which we were talking about last week, and that we didn't really need it.
But the men also, I didn't notice this before. They split up. So most of the team was at that USD tune-up, but some competed in Arkansas as well, the Arkansas Twilight. Mm-hmm. What did you see from the USD tune-up?
So we won the 4x4. In Arkansas, Twilight, like you said, moving up to number 2 on NDSU all-time list.
Something that we say every single week. They're just breaking their own records, both men and women.
Yep, so the Bison are now ranked 21st in West region in this season. And you would think it would be higher, right? Just off the stuff that we do.
Right, but it is important to note that the top 24 teams make it to the NCAA prelim round. So right now we're sitting in a good spot to make those.
Yep, and then the rest of NDU's athletes competed in South Dakota tune-up, like we said. What do you have from the girls?
So the women's team claimed 4 event titles with a limited squad competing. So I wonder if because not all the guys competed that they couldn't bring all the girls, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't really get clear stats from that, but Erin Valgerdson, a new name, she won the 1500 meter and got her 3rd consecutive personal best. So that means 3 weeks in a row she's beaten her score. Freshman, a new name, Grace Emanith, got 2nd in the triple jump and 4th in the long jump. Another freshman, Haley Schmidt, took 1st place in the javelin. And then Maddie Nails, we've talked about a lot these past few weeks, was selected as the Summit League Female Athlete of the Month for April.
Yep. Another name for the men's, Josh Knudsen, the 400-meter hurdles, which has got to be tough. Took runner-up in honors in that meet. Freshman Hunter Merkley, which is also new, jumped to take 2nd in the long jump. And there's a veteran in the long jump, so
Right.
Right.
Kind of seeing that new. I wonder if the veteran, though, was at that Arkansas meet.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this was a chance. Another freshman, Jens Christensen, cleared 4.76 meters in the pole vaults. So those are 2 freshman stars from the men's team that kind of stood out this past weekend.
Yep. Jacob Lavin got his personal best with the 200-meter dash. He placed 5th in both events for the 400 also. So he's doing pretty good. Bison freshman, another freshman, Jens Christensen, and freshman Jacob Van Dessenjoy, both cleared in the pole vault.
Right.
So, and we don't get, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, we don't talk about other stuff like pole vault and stuff like that. And
because we get the media results, so we get the top athletes.
Yep.
So this past week it was these freshmen, and some other times it's the sprint, the distance medleys, and that just kind of shows how solid every single aspect of this track and field team is.
Yep, good to see new events like pole vault though, because we don't really talk about that much.
And sprinter Adrian Harris was named the Summit League Men's Track Athlete of the Week. He's technically a sophomore, but a freshman for outdoor track because last year.
Oh, canceled COVID?
Right.
Okay.
So technically his first year competing, but he's like 20.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, Summit League tournament starts tomorrow, goes through Saturday. It's in Vermilion, so just where they were.
It is where they were.
Do you think that kind of helps them that they were competing at the place that they're going to do the championship at?
Yeah, you get a look and you get a feel for what it's going to be like actually, and that's always a help. That's, I think, with anything in life. So I think track and field will do what they do best, dominate. My guy, Alex Talley.
Right.
I want to see what he does in the shot put and the discus. Who do you look for? Achille Moulton?
Achille, Maddie Niles, Jennifer Barrigar-Petrash, those 3 girls have stood out this whole season. Although, this week we didn't talk about Jennifer or Achille. We talked about these freshmen. And so I think that you will see those upperclassmen getting the titles, but you will see those underclassmen placing, 4th, 5th,
yep.
getting their names out there. But I think we're not going to struggle with the Summit League. But looking ahead, couple weeks, NCAA. How do you think we will do in the nation, knowing that the men's team is the only one that's ranked in the West region, not in the nation?
Well, the thing about track is what I like. It's a team, but it's also individual. And it's not like football, like you have to go to a good school to win and stuff like that. It's just you.
Right.
So Alex Talley is already ranked high in the NCAA, in the nation, period.
That's true.
Right.
But
so
the team as a whole might not be.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
The individual athletes.
Right. Yeah. So I think Alex Talley will go far just because in his own shot put world, But as far as I don't think they're gonna do that well in the NCAA, just because we're just not in the top in those other events. Like Achille Moulton, I think she'll do well in her shot put, just because it's at the end of the day it's just her an individual event. So
before we end, I do want to say UND beat NDSU in softball. The final score was 6-5 in 10 innings. This softball team finished 16-29 overall. So obviously a tough loss.
Yeah.
Hard-fought loss, but I think it was a tough season for them, and I think that they have a lot of room to grow next year.
Yep. And then, we want to talk about our guy, Coy Hardo. Come in. Coy Hardo, he's the guy that does it behind the scenes, does everything from switcher, from audio. This is the guy that helps us do everything. So
we could not have a show without Coy. So
can't
we're
have a show without Coy.
Give a hand off.
We always
to
need
him.
that third guy, but yeah.
You guys put on a good show, though. It's been a lot of fun.
Have you been learning about some sports?
Some
I
sports
have.
lately?
I've learned a lot more about it this semester.
All right, well, this is, like we said, the last show for the season, or for the semester, forever. I will be returning back to Oklahoma State in the fall. Malik will still be here talking about Bison sports. Coy will still be here running everything behind the scenes. You can always check out both of our personal YouTubes if you want to go back, check out some old Bison Overtime episodes, or see what we're up to. Don't forget, BIN News will go live in August again, so lots to be checking BIN about for this next year.
Yep, and comment if you want Alex to come back for an interview or anything like that.
Yes.
For a video.
I can do that. We thank you so much for following us this past semester. It's been fun. The last time, I'm Alex Dusky.
I'm Malik Mitchell.
I'm Coy Hardo.
Thank you, and roll herd.
Oh, he actually did it.